Welcome back to CBS Sports HQ. Jordan Giorgio alongside Damian Harris, Danny Cannella, Jay Duzable with you as we get back to our college football playoff coverage. It's a big day in college football. The first round underway right now. It's time to check in with another member of our crew who we haven't seen in a hot minute. It's our own Josh Pate, who is live for us out in Columbus. Josh, I don't understand. What's the temperature out there? Where is the big, large parka? There's not even a scarf or anything.
Like, where are you?
What's going on?
Where are you?
Who are you?
Okay, I've got them hidden everywhere. I borrowed this jacket from Cannell. I'm as ready as I could possibly be out here.
All right, well, let's get to the game that you're at. It's a big one. Ohio State hosting Tennessee today. It's the 9th seed versus the 8th seed. Two evenly matched teams. What are you expecting in this one?
A very unpredictable first quarter. Everyone's got their feel on this game. I've got my feel. Everyone at the desk has their feel. It feels like the kind of first quarter where when we go to break and then they come back and, okay, 15 minutes to go in the second quarter, already about 3 things have happened that you wouldn't have seen coming. It's kind of like the way the game started last night, Indiana-Notre Dame. Okay, you got all your predictions on it. Well, did you predict 2 turnovers in the first, 10 minutes of action? No, not necessarily. So I think that in large part will dictate how this goes. I just think back to a couple of months ago when you and I were talking and we were in Athens, and it was Tennessee on the road to play Georgia. And we were talking about how important a fast start was for Tennessee. Well, they get up 10-0. Then they get boat raced. And it's hostile environments, all of that. They go in there and silence it, and then it didn't matter. So it'd be nice if Tennessee started fast today, but you don't get this deep in the postseason. You don't get in the postseason period if you don't have a little competitive character, a little resolve about yourself. So it's so popular to say, hey, I think we'll know everything we need to know by halftime. No, you won't. It'll be a 4-quarter game. I think Ohio State understands back against the wall. I just question how different the mentality is or isn't in that building as opposed to the fan base and outside. Because the outside noise doesn't matter as long as you put up the walls high enough inside your building.
Pate, I'm trying to separate fact from fiction and what I see online with this Tennessee takeover that is supposedly taking place at the Shoe. You've been on the ground there. What have you seen? Is there a significant presence of orange? Give me a split what you think it'll be in the stadium.
No, they're up here. Every gas station along the interstate. I drove last night, okay? I went the everyman's route because I came from Nashville, and it was like a little orange convoy on the way up here. A lot of car flags, some snow, so everything was mixed in, the elements included. There are a lot of them here, okay? Then the follow-up question in the regular season would be, yeah, but how many of you actually got tickets? But in this kind of situation where the secondary market is the way it is and the ticket distribution is controlled by the playoff more so than the university itself, oh, and you can steal pre-sale codes and whatnot, which the folks from Tennessee have, I think they're going to be well represented. But at the same time, again, like, what does it matter? It matters a lot. It's a big embarrassment if you get lost and then half the stadium's still full at the end, only it's the road team and their fans celebrating. We've seen that happen at Vanderbilt games, for example, in the SEC. And Ohio State does that to teams on the road, like Northwestern. They'll go up to Chicago for a nice weekend, take over the stadium. Ho-hum, we won 38-3, let's go home. That's not supposed to happen in the Shoe. Maybe it won't happen. It's a great mystery. It's a great unknown because we've never seen the ticket dynamic like this.
All right, let's go ahead and dive deeper into this game and who we're going to see on the field, some of the guys who are going to need to step up today. One of those guys is Tennessee running back Dylan Sampson. How important will he be today up against this Ohio State team?
Well, we can't mention his name without mentioning SEC Player of the Year. So I think that right there talks about how paramount, how important he is to this team, to the conference as a whole, and how special of a player he is. When you look at this Ohio State defense, a lot of people talk about how they like to stop the run. This team is phenomenal at stopping the pass. Tennessee does not have world beaters at receiver either. They're led by Igbinosun. They're led by Caleb Downs. They completely know how to take a passing game away. So what do you do to counter that? You just run the football with a guy who's got over 1,500 yards, 20-plus touchdowns. He's averaging close to 6 yards per carry. I mean, this is your traditional bell cow SEC running back. He runs with great contact balance, so you never see the first guy bring him down. And it's not like he's intentionally trying to run guys over. They just bounce off of him because his balance balance is so good. He's a decisive runner, like you'll see right here. There's nothing inside, so he bounces, and he just takes what's there. He's not the guy that's going to tiptoe in the backfield and try to pick the perfect hole. If it's clogged up on the inside, he's going to hit the edge and try to make some hay on the outside. If it's open on the inside, he's going to take the A-gap, and he's going to hit it, and he's going to try to hit his head on the goalpost. And another thing that is great about Dylan Sampson, especially when we're talking about a young, inexperienced quarterback like Nico Iamaleava, Dylan Sampson is phenomenal in the pass game. They use him a lot in the screen game, try to get him up in the line of scrimmage, fake like he's pass blocking, and they slip him the ball, and then he's got nothing but linemen and green grass in front of him. And so he's just as equally important in the pass game, especially for Nico, who, like I said, doesn't have world beaters on the outside. He's been inconsistent at times. He hasn't played at a stage like this before. Well, when you have a guy that you can hand the ball to and throw the ball to, and he's going to block for you, like Dylan Sampson is going to be a do-it-all guy for this team today. And this is a type of game, a type of performance where I would expect his teammates, I would expect his coaches to grab him by the face mask and say, we need a big day out of you today. We go as you go, and he's going to say, listen, big boys up front, take care of the down lineman, I'll make the rest happen.
Yeah, he's the focal point of the offense, but Ohio State knows that coming into this game, and I think that's why we were talking about this earlier, DK. From Ohio State, I'm crowding the box, and we just saw the graphic. He's still one of the best running backs in the nation when 8 people are in the box. He just runs physical. You talked about the contact balance. We see it up and down the film throughout the whole year. The thing is, Ohio State is going to try to minimize him, right? And then what will Nico do, right? We talked about it earlier. If I'm Ohio State, I'm telling my corners to play with inside leverage because of the RPO game is so big for Tennessee, and Nico is so efficient throwing the ball in the middle of the field. Make him beat you throwing outside the numbers. Can they do that? Me and DK also had a conversation about the other quarterback, Will Howard. I think there's something to be said, and Damon, you talked about this in the Michigan game, how they were so conservative, and they didn't put the game in his hands. Multiple 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10s, and they ran the football. Like, you have Will Howard, who went toe-to-toe with Oregon. Yes, he made a mistake at the end of the game that cost him the game, but he was so efficient, not only with his legs, but throwing the ball as well. So if you're Chip Kelly, put the game in Will Howard's hands. You talked about all the weapons they have on the outside. You can't be conservative and win in the CFP.